Nearly 20 years have passed since 18-year-old high school graduate Natalee Holloway disappeared on the small tropical island of Aruba, where she was vacationing with other graduates to celebrate their high school graduation and the start of their college studies. In this video, we will try to uncover what really happened. Natalee Ann Holloway was born in Memphis, Tennessee, USA, on October 21, 1986, to Dave and Elizabeth Holloway. Natalee was an outgoing, sociable, and active student, a member of the school's dance team, and a cheerleader. In May 2005, she graduated from high school and applied to the University of Alabama. The parents of the graduating students decided to mark the end of high school in a big way. Instead of the typical celebration, such as gathering at a cafe or setting up tables in the school gym to welcome the dawn together, they organized a 5-day trip to a tropical island. On May 26, 2005, Natalee and 124 other graduates from Mountain Brook High School arrived on Aruba, an island nation located in the southern Caribbean Sea. They were accompanied by 7 adults, including a schoolteacher. So, on May 26, 2005, the group of graduates arrived on Aruba and checked into the Holiday Inn Hotel. Over the next few days, the teenagers spent their time sightseeing, swimming, and partying, enjoying their vacation on the Caribbean coast. In the evenings, they hosted large parties that lasted deep into the night at tropical bars. On May 30, 2005, all the graduates were supposed to gather and head to the airport for their flight back to the United States. However, Natalee Holloway did not show up for the meeting. Her chaperones, friends, and fellow graduates could not find her anywhere. Hotel staff opened the room where Natalee had been staying. All of her belongings and documents were neatly packed, indicating that she had been preparing to leave. At the same time, it was clear that she had not spent the night at the hotel. Investigators questioned everyone who had seen Natalee on the evening of May 29th, and it was revealed that she had last been seen near the restaurant and nightclub Carlos and Charlie's. After partying at the club, Natalee was seen getting into a car, a gray Honda, with a group of local young men, around 3 of them. According to eyewitnesses, she got into the car voluntarily, in a good mood, and there was nothing suspicious about her behavior. That was the last time anyone saw her. Soon after Natalee missed her flight and her mother learned of her disappearance, she flew to Aruba on a private plane with friends. Upon arrival, authorities were able to gather more detailed information and figure out exactly how and with whom Natalee had left that night. So, around 1:30 a.m. on Monday, the night of May 29th to 30th, 2005, Natalee left the nightclub Carlos and Charlie's with a young man. She got into a gray Honda sedan. In the car with Natalee were 17-year-old Joran van der Sloot, a Dutch student who was living on Aruba, as well as 2 of his friends, Deepak Kalpo, the car owner, and his brother Satish Kalpo. According to their account, they drove Natalee to the lighthouse on Arashi Beach, as she allegedly wanted to see sharks. They then returned to the Holiday Inn Hotel around 2 a.m. Natalee reportedly stumbled when getting out of the car but refused help and walked toward the hotel on her own. According to van der Sloot, as he and the Kalpos were leaving, a man in a black shirt resembling the uniform of a local hotel security guard approached Natalee. A massive search began, involving police, of course, the girls' parents and their friends, and hundreds of volunteers, including concerned locals and visiting tourists. The family of the missing girl offered a $1 million reward for anyone who could find Natalee alive. Search efforts covered the entire island. Search dogs were used to track her scent on land, and rescue boats were deployed for water searches. Divers and underwater teams were also involved in the search. Natalee's disappearance sparked a media frenzy in the U.S. On June 5, 2005, Aruba police detained 2 suspects in connection with kidnapping and murder, Nick John and Abraham Jonas, security guards from a neighboring hotel, Allegro. At the time, the hotel was closed for renovations. The reasons for their arrest were not officially disclosed, but news reports suggested that statements from Joran van der Sloot might have played a role. It was known that the security guards were often involved in what was called picking up tourists at hotels, and one of them had already faced legal issues in the past. Despite this, after investigations and questioning, neither John nor Jonas were found to be involved in the crime, and they were released without charges. On June 9th, Joran van der Sloot and the Kalpoe brothers were arrested on the same suspicions. On June 17th, a 4th suspect, Steve Gregory Kroes, was detained based on information obtained from van der Sloot and the Kalpoe brothers. Then, on June 22nd, Aruba police detained van der Sloot's father, Paulus van der Sloot, for questioning and arrested him the same day. However, on June 26th, Paulus and Steve Gregory Kroes were released. In the meantime, van der Sloot and the Kalpoe brothers began changing their statements. They now claim that they parted ways with Holloway not at the Holiday Inn Hotel, but on the beach by the Marriott Hotel. The Kalpoe brothers had driven van der Sloot and Holloway there before leaving. Van der Sloot himself claimed that he had a brief conversation with Holloway and then left the beach, leaving her alone. In subsequent interrogations, van der Sloot presented a third version, claiming that he parted with Holloway at his house, after which she left with the Kalpoe brothers. However, Gerald Dompig, the detective leading the investigation, criticized this version, believing that van der Sloot was trying to shift blame onto the Kalpoes since their testimonies were essentially against him. On Monday, July 4th, following a brief court hearing, Deepak and Satish Kalpoe were released, while the detention of Joran van der Sloot was extended. However, after the court-ordered detention period expired, and in the absence of evidence linking him to the murder, van der Sloot was also released. Throughout the investigation, van der Sloot was detained twice on suspicion of involvement in Natalee's disappearance, while the Kalpoe brothers were detained 3 times. However, due to a lack of direct evidence and clues, the suspects were released each time without charges. Natalee Holloway's parents expressed dissatisfaction with the actions of the Aruba police and the lack of progress in the investigation. This text provides a detailed account of the legal proceedings and developments in the cases involving Joran van der Sloot, including the investigation into the disappearance of Natalee Holloway and the murder of Stephany Flores Ramírez. It begins with the 2007 closure of Holloway's case due to lack of evidence, followed by its reopening in 2008 when new evidence surfaced through a documentary by Peter de Vries. Despite van der Sloot's attempt to retract his statements in the footage, the case gained renewed attention. The account moves to van der Sloot's conviction for the murder of Flores in 2012, noting his continued criminal activities while in a Peruvian prison, where he was later convicted of drug trafficking in 2021. It further details his extradition to the U.S. in 2023 for charges of extortion and fraud, stemming from his deceptive offer to reveal Holloway's remains location to her family for a financial reward. During the U.S. hearing, van der Sloot confessed to killing Holloway after she rejected his advances, though this admission could not be used in court against him due to the terms of his plea agreement, leaving him convicted solely on extortion charges. Judge Anna Manasco sentenced him to 20 years for extortion and fraud, expressing dismay at his history of violent acts. Beth Holloway's statement at the hearing declared the long journey for justice over, with van der Sloot finally acknowledged as her daughter's killer. And that concludes our coverage of this tragic story. If you found this video informative or thought-provoking, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more updates on cases like these. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Feel free to share this video with your friends and give it a thumbs up if you found it valuable. Thank you for watching.